Good evening, folks. Good morning if you're living on the other side of the globe. It's late at night here, probably around 11 or so. But I wanted to make this video for you tonight because I'm holding before me a very special $5 bill. Now, what makes this bill so special? Well, it comes from a very special young lady. Now, she was walking down the sidewalk with a friend of hers. They're laughing and joking and having a good time. And she walked up to me and she asked me if I had ate today. And I said, yes, I have. And she asked me when. And I told her. And then she hands me the $5 bill and says, get yourself something more to eat. Well, that really blew my mind. It's not often out here on the street that you run into that kind of thing. But in this case, this girl, I don't know, she must have some pretty amazing parents. And she's following in their footsteps because she felt a need to help a fellow human being. And that's pretty special to me. Now, I wished I had gotten her name so I could properly thank her, but she disappeared about as quickly as she showed up. So I hope you're watching this video so that I can properly thank you. From the bottom of my heart, you made my day. And it actually got me thinking about homelessness, hunger, disease, and all of that. I've been thinking about it off and on over the years, for quite a few years. And the question is, how do we make a serious dent? How do we eliminate homelessness and hunger and despair and all of that? Well, it seems like a complicated situation because it doesn't just happen here in America. It's pretty much worldwide. Anywhere you go, you can find people who are homeless or hungry or lack medical care, lack funds for schooling, or whatever, and they lack hope for the future. So how do we give hope? How do we end homelessness and hunger and all of that? Well, I've been thinking about it, and I think it's not quite as complicated as we might think it is. I think I might have the answer. So, how do we do that? Well, we create humanitarians. This girl is a humanitarian. How do we create humanitarians? We quit teaching our kids how to be kind, how to talk nice to others, how to share. We quit teaching them how to be humanitarians. Quit teaching them right from wrong. I hear people all the time saying, well, I teach my children to share all the time. I teach my children to say please and thank you. Well, it's my experience that teaching pretty much goes in one ear and out the other. I've seen kids as young as 4 years old tell me, fuck you. Now, where do they get that? They're only 4 years old. Where do they get words like that? Where do they get an attitude like that? From the parents. You see, kids follow the parents. They see what the parents are doing. You can teach them all you want, but what they're doing is they're watching you. So if you're going out flipping the bird to somebody, or telling somebody to go get screwed, or running a red light because you're too busy to stop for the red light, the kids, they're pretty much going to grow up to be just like mom and dad, because they look at mom and dad as the hero, as infallible. They can't make mistakes until mom and dad show them we can make mistakes. So we quit teaching them and we start showing them. We feed the hungry. We cook more food than what we'll eat tonight, and we offer it up to somebody who's starving. We paint the neighbor's house because he's too old and crippled to do it himself, and we don't ask for anything in return. We stand up for the kid who was bullied. We stand up against the bullies. We say hi to our neighbors, invite them over for a barbecue. Every time we go out to pick up the paper in the morning, we greet the neighbors. We stop at the red lights. We stop and allow the guy at the bank who's trying to get out of the parking lot to get out when traffic's too busy for him to get out. We use kindness in everything we do. We say please to everybody. We say thank you to everybody. We say hello and greet people every day. If we do all of these things on a regular basis, if we share our last piece of pizza with our next door neighbor, or, help that crippled old lady get her groceries into the house without being asked to do it, or we stop on the side of the road and help these stranded people get their car started or call somebody who can, and we do it without being asked, the kids begin to understand that this is the way life is supposed to be, and they end up growing up to be just like that. We don't leave room for selfishness. We don't leave room for anger and bullies and things like that. There won't be any room for that. And think about it. If we don't leave room for it, these kids, when they're growing up and learning to offer help to others, they're eventually going to become politicians. Humanitarian politicians instead of liars and thieves. The ones that spy on you and lie to you and tell you that the reason they're spying on you is to keep you safe. That's bullcrap. We all know that because for 200 years our government kept us safe without spying on us. Suddenly our government today is incapable of keeping us safe without spying on us? I don't believe it. It's crap. Our government is greedy. We don't leave room for greed. We give away money like it's nothing. Hell, I learned years ago when I saw people starving on the streets, begging for food, begging for money to buy food, begging for money for clothes. I learned back then that money isn't as important as we think it is. It's human life that's important. I started helping people years ago. I met a few people who've never had a new pair of shoes in their life. They've got new shoes now because of me. And the look on their face when they got their first pair of brand new shoes was priceless. Worth more than the money that it cost me for a few pair of shoes. I've met people who never had pizza in their life. Always dreamed of having a piece of pizza. They've had pieces of pizza now, and they loved it. Cost me a few bucks. What's a few bucks when you see the look on their face when they're eating that pizza for the first time? I knew a girl, still do, we still talk. One day we were talking and I asked her, "How you doing today?" And instead of saying, "I'm doing fine, Steve, how are you?" she says, "I'm not doing so good today, Steve." And I said, "Why?" She says, well, I'm hurting. And I said, well, why are you hurting? She says, because I fell. I says, you fell? What do you mean you fell? How did you fall? Did you fall down the steps? Tell me this story. I want to hear it. And she started telling me about the story. See, she has polio, and she's required to have crutches to get around. It's the only way for her to get around. These crutches are her independence. But they're old. They're worn out. They probably have makeshift feet on them that can't hold her up. And she falls. I've asked her, have you fallen before? Yes. I couldn't take it. I mean, I'm picturing this sweet girl with polio walking down the street or walking in her house, and the crutches give way. She hits her head on the corner of a piece of furniture or something, gashes her head open. Nobody around, and she's bleeding to death. I mean, I just couldn't take it. I bought her a new pair of crutches. Kind of, at the moment, hurt me financially, but I didn't care. Why? Because the look on her face when she got them new crutches. She was proud of those things, showing them off to everybody. She's got a new pair of crutches. I wanted to get her braces, because I have a feeling that if she had braces, she could probably walk without the crutches. And you know, if I ever get off the street, that will probably be one of my missions. I'll take her to a foot specialist, get her measured up for a pair of braces. It'll be costly, but you know what? I can't wait to see the look in her eyes when she takes that first step without crutches. Talk about your independence. It'll be great. How can you feel bad helping another human being? I don't. Do you? What have you done today to improve somebody else's life? If we start improving other people's lives in front of our kids, they grow up and they'll do the same. There won't be any room for greed, selfishness, bullies. We'll have that better world that everybody dreams of. I think that's how we make a dent, a serious dent, in homelessness and hunger. What do you think? If you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe, pass it on. Leave your comments, suggestions. I want to hear from you. Thanks a lot for viewing. That girl, she knows this isn't going to take me off the street. You know, it's $5 isn't a lot of money. But it doesn't matter. What matters is she made a difference in somebody's life. How will you make a difference in somebody's life tomorrow? Have you given to charities at all? Were you asked to do it, or did you do it freely? Have you ever taken your kid down to a mission and cooked a meal to help feed the hungry? What have you done to make a difference in somebody's life? What will you do tomorrow? Think about it. Thanks. Once again, I'll talk to you later.